Yeah, welcome. In fact, I am also very happy to have joined this program. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's our pleasure, sir, to host you also.
Most welcome,
And
most welcome.
we had just finished our technical sessions for today, and yesterday also we had two technical sessions. Today also there were two, and
Okay,
quite a good number of papers and good fruitful discussions we had, mostly
okay.
on the fields of renewable energy and
Yes,
different other non-conventional energy systems and
yes.
practices. And now we hope to have a good discussion on this particular topic also. And this topic is, as you already have been
It
uh,
is a non
shared with.
all-inclusive topic.
Yes, yes, yes. It
It
is an all
varies. It varies from electrical mobility to hydrogen, with
right.
somewhere pitched in with wind, everything.
Yes, yes, exactly, sir.
Because all that is required, the synergy, that synergy which you are looking, is modern energy crucial to enhance energy efficiency to invest in RE.
Yes, exactly, sir.
So it's very important that we don't miss out on any of the subjects. In fact, with your permission, I may be digressing a little bit, but then overall, while I was making my notes, I
Yes,
found that I need to talk about electric mobility also, hydrogen also,
right,
because they are very much a part for contribution to SDG 7.
right. That's right, sir. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be nice to hear that from you. And we will have four more panelists, and they are from Assam Engineering College, senior professor from Assam Engineering College, Professor Durlav Hazarika. There
Yes.
will be Mr. Shauquat Alam from Sovereign Infrastructure Development Company, UK.
Yes.
Uh, Professor KG Bhattacharya from Department of Chemistry, our own university, Assam Don Bosco University. He is
Yes.
a renowned scientist and a person of repute. And then we will have Mr. Pankaj Gogoi, who is founder and CEO of RedLemon Technologies Private Limited. So we have people from all different walks of life and
Good. Good.
associated entities
It
from
will be a
UK.
great opportunity to meet such great people together.
Right. Yes.
I think Professor Hazarika from Assam Engineering College has come.
Yes. He has joined just now. Welcome, Hazarika sir,
Yeah,
to this
thank
session.
you. Okay, thank you. I have already joined.
Yes, sir. So we will wait for other three panelists to join,
Okay.
and then we are also doing live streaming of this session in YouTube. They will also be joining. So Mr. Pankaj Gogoi has joined. Welcome, Mr. Gogoi, to this panel
Good
discussion.
afternoon, Professor Vikram.
Yeah. So we will start our discussion in 4 or 5 minutes. Exactly at 2 o'clock, we will start our discussion. Thank you for joining.
I find from your part of the country a very prompt. They're joining just on time.
हाँ अतुल हमने देखा है हो ही गया Bikram,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but the sound is okay.
Yes, sir. Now the sound is all right.
Okay, actually, there are not many things happening here. That's why
Yes.
we were getting some other
Now,
noise
now,
from your
now there is no echo. It is coming
No, no,
fine.
there won't be any echo. Actually, there are a lot many things happening here. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
doing
Now,
many
now
things
it is
parallel.
fine, sir.
I'm doing a lot many things parallelly now. Anyway, all right. Now,
Yes,
whenever
sir.
it is ready, just call me, huh?
Yes, now it is fine. Good afternoon, everyone. We will not wait anymore, but we'll start the session now. And this session is the panel discussion session on the topic of synergies and trade-offs between sustainable development goals and targets, with special reference to SDG 7. The SDG 7, Sustainable Development Goal 7, as we know, is all about affordable and clean energy. So this particular goal is very much related to the topic of our conference, the international conference that is going on for last 2 days, that is on the emerging renewable and modern energy, and with a subtitle of access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services to all. So I'm happy to announce that we have renowned personalities who have joined here today in this discussion. Uh, and we have with us Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar, Professor Durlav Hazarika, Mr. Pankaj Gogoi, Mr. Shauquat Alam, and Professor Krishna Gopal Bhattacharya. They have joined us for this panel discussion, and we have a number of participants who have joined in this platform as well as through YouTube. They have been attending this particular session, and I take this privilege to introduce the panelists with short description of their biodata. So I would like to start with Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar. Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar is BTech in Mechanical Engineering and PhD in Renewable Energy Management from IIT BHU, formerly uh, Banaras Hindu University. He is the experience of leading several renewable energy related projects of Bharat Petroleum, such as 4 megawatt solar power plant, 6.3 megawatt of wind turbines, R&D for development of second generation biofuels, and so on. The list is an extensive one. Currently, he is a consultant of implementation projects of rooftop and utility scale solar plants, implementation of wind turbine generators, waste to fuel technology, biomass technology, and other technologies related to renewable and non-conventional energy. We are privileged to have you on board this panel discussion, sir. Welcome to this panel discussion. Next, I would like to introduce Professor Durlav Hazarika. Professor Hazarika obtained his bachelor degree in electrical engineering from Jorhat Engineering College in the year 1983 and MTech degree from IIT Bombay, after which he did PhD from IIT Kharagpur in the year 2000. He has over 30 years of experience in academics and research. His research interests are in the fields of power systems, embedded systems, optical sensors, and instrumentation. At present, he is a professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering, Assam Engineering College. Welcome to this panel discussion, sir. Next, I would like to introduce Professor K.G. Bhattacharya. Professor Bhattacharya did his MSc in chemistry from Guwahati University, Assam in 1973. His PhD is on chemical reactivity of mica surfaces from Imperial College, London in 1984, DIC in physical chemistry from Imperial College in 1984. He has around 42 years of teaching experience and has held many important academic portfolios. He retired as a professor of chemistry from Guwahati University and currently is associated with Assam Don Bosco University as the professor in the Department of Chemistry. Recently, he has been listed among the 2% top scientists in the world by Stanford University. Welcome to this panel discussion, sir. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Pankaj Gogoi. Mr. Gogoi did his Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communication from Assam Engineering College in the year 2004, and then PG in Business Management from XLRI Jamshedpur in 2009. He has more than 13 years of experience in IT and telecom industry. He is also the co-founder of two startups, Selfisher and Ishofani. Currently, he is the CEO of RedLemon Technologies Private Limited, which was also founded by him. Welcome to this session, Mr. Gogoi. I would also like to briefly introduce Mr. Shauquat Alam. He has not been able to join us because of some network issues. He is currently traveling in the US. Mr. Alam is an electrical engineer from Assam Engineering College, and then post-graduation from Training Institute for Productivity and Industrial Engineering. He has over 35 plus years of experience as investment engineering consultant, strategist, and facility management professional. Currently, he is the Senior VP of Investment and Solutions Strategy at the Sovereign Infrastructure Development Company Limited, UK. He is going to join us as soon as he is able to uh, get a better network from the place where he is currently traveling to. And we would like to straight away go to the point of our discussion today, the topic that is very, very pertinent to for the people who are in the field of energy and are working in the fields related to energy in some way or other. As we know, the Sustainable Development Goals adopted by United Nations on 25th September 2015 are currently driving most development policies globally. With 17 goals, 169 targets, and 232 indicators to monitor and track progress, countries may lose sight of synergies and trade-offs between goals and between targets, a fact that has been acknowledged from the very beginning. So, to address this concern, approaches are being developed to identify and quantify these synergies and trade offs. So, our point of discussion, the topic for today, is exactly that. So, we want to discuss about the different sustainable development goals that United Nations had made and have set targets according to them, and whether we are able to take proper steps in the form of helping each other. That means helping one SDG with working on another SDG, or is it hampering one SDG because of some action taken on the other? Affordable and access to energy for all, that we are going to start our discussion. So I would like to straight away go to Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar and would like to know his views on this. In this panel discussion, we will be initially taking, we will be discussing with each of the panelists for about 10 minutes, and then we will have a discussion based on the feedback that we receive from each other as well as from the participants and the questions and answers that we have to tackle at the end of the session. So this session we have a target of completing in next 1 hour and 15 minutes. So over to Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar, sir. So please unmute your microphone.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Bikramjit. I'm very thankful to your institute for calling me for this international seminar. I have been working with renewable energy for last 5 years before I superannuated hardly a year back. I superannuated in February 2020 and was welcomed by Corona. So thereafter, I have been doing jobs related to sustainability, more so about SDG 7, that is basically, access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services by 2030. This is precisely what it talks about. And renewable energy to fulfill this target. Some of the most important things that is there always at the back of our mind is the 175 gigawatt target given by the Honorable Prime Minister to be achieved by 2022. Well, the fact remains that we are right now lagging behind. We have touched 90 gigawatts and we have a long way to go. Unfortunately, Corona has given us a setback because if you check up, India's GDP will contract by 7.7%. That is what has been predicted by the last publication of the National Statistical Organization. But the heartening news is that electricity will end with a positive note. So electricity generated by renewable energy is the topic today. However, there are some other topics getting associated. And one of the major topics which gets associated is electrical mobility and lithium ion batteries or new generation batteries, and the huge amount of research and development that is going on in fuel cells and hydrogen as a fuel. Now, to take forward this 175 gigawatt commitment which our country has made, one of the major things that was done this year was the first World Technology Summit, which was hosted by International Solar Alliance in India in partnership with NTPC. They have decided to commission 47 countries projects related to renewable energy enhancement. And the next thing which our Prime Minister is very ambitious about, and we also find that there is a lot of value in it, is the slogan of One Sun, One World, One Grid, where you will have solar power or renewable energy generated power which can be transmitted to other countries also. It has been very common in Australia in 2019 through HVDC, high voltage direct current of 100 kV link in China. It was completed in 2019 for a distance of 3,300 kilometers with a power of 12 gigawatts. So there is a possibility of these things emerging. There's a lot of emerging technologies. While it is a fact that the rooftop has taken a backseat, the utility has taken a backseat because of the very fact that the Chinese equipment which was being imported in our country, we are still not capable of manufacturing at that cost. As a result of which, when we are going for competitive bidding and reverse auction, the rates discovered have been rupees 1 rupee 99 paisa per unit, which is ridiculous for anybody to work. It gives a rate of return of only 7%. If you go with that kind of a proposal to a bank, the bank will not honor you. And there are a lot of people who are ready to help us in this field. You have so many Ontario Municipal Employees Retirement Fund, Canada Pension Plan, Dutch Pension Fund. Then you have ADIA, Abu Dhabi International Fund, and Goldman Sachs. But the fact remains that this rate of interest, when the rate of return comes down to 6% or 7%, value chain, that is a discom. The discoms, most of the discoms are cash strapped, as a result of which they are unable to import or buy renewable energy. And while they are at the end of the value chain, they are the one who contributes maximum to this value in the whole electricity distribution. So there have been good news coming around. For example, Renew Power has bid along with one more company for Chandigarh Discom, which is one of the major discoms in our country. So like this, privatization of Discom will also take place. And in the current budget, to make Discom more noteworthy and feasible, the government in this budget has planned to pump in 3.05 lakh crores into the Discoms for revival of Discoms. This is one part of the electricity opportunities which are coming up. The other part is that there is a huge scope which is emerging for achievement of SDG 7 through electric vehicle and battery technology. Through the faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles, which was known as FAME 1, So 670 electric buses have been started in Maharashtra. My figures may be a bit outdated, please bear with me. Goa, Gujarat, Chandigarh, 241 charging stations in MP, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. And then at the same time, there are some mergers and acquisitions which have also been taking place. For example, NEC Corporation of Massachusetts, Greenco is trying to enter into an alliance for manufacturing of batteries. And if more than batteries, we need to see that details of things like cathodes, then your storage for power grid, electrolytes, anodes, cells, separators, they are also need to be manufactured. Now, for the FAME 2, the government is ready to pump in another 10,000 crores in this budget. So, it is one of the major plans that by 2030, most of the vehicles that you will be plying, whether it be two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, or even buses, will mostly be on electricity generated or electric driven. There are a lot of acquisitions have also started taking place. There are plenty of people who are ready to come and invest in this country. So the issue is that we have to grab this opportunity. Major thing is that were totally dependent on imports. We were dependent on imports for parts of electrical components, or what we call as balance of systems, other than the photovoltaic cells or panels. Panels, in any case, were being imported mostly from China. There is a steep duty imposed on it, but that is only a temporary phenomenon. We have to build our own capacity. And the government has also decided to allot 300 acres of land, one in the hilly area, one in the coastal area, and one in hinterland, for putting up factories which will manufacture electric gears or electricity balance of systems, so that we don't have to depend on imports of inverters and other equipment which are required, separators for electricity. And at the same time, panel work is also going on. We have a lot of panel manufacturers, and a lot of productivity link incentives are also being floated and given, promised to be given in this budget for the people who will manufacture balance of systems and panels. With this, there is a ray of hope that although we may not be able to achieve 175 gigawatts, but it is on the ascending trend. And with electricity showing a positive market, and NTPC having taken a vow that they are not going to put up any more thermal plants, it will be only brownfield projects, no greenfield projects will come as thermal plants. We expect that the SDG 7 targets will be achieved, and also with that achievement, we have to also see that at the same time, the whole trend of the energy sector is changing, and the whole trend of the automotive sector is changing. So we need to take our best foot forward and take it about, because as a country, we have made a very tall commitment of 175 gigawatts. So unless and until we have things like HVDC, it is very difficult to achieve this figure. And the government has put forward all kind of support to help, and we need to take it forward. As far as your institute is concerned, I think it is very essential that you also give a lot of importance to the incubation centers. Most of the IITs have incubation center, most of the engineering colleges have incubation center, and a lot of amount and a lot of time and energy has to be spent in R&D also, because it is a new subject and it's an evolving subject. To take it forward, you need a lot of passion as far as these things are concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that had been a great amount of information, not only from the avenues of different renewable energy related areas they are to bloom in order to achieve the target, and also in the form of the advice that we have received also as an educational institution. So I think these are some of the takeaways from a conference panel discussion like this, where we all, the academicians and the people who are involved in the academics and from the student community also, those who have joined, they will definitely have a lot of things to uh, learn and understand, and the responsibilities that we have as the citizens to fulfill in order to achieve these targets as a collective group of people and responsible citizens of the country, that we must understand. So thank you. We will come back to you again for a number of questions that we have in
Oh, yes, sure.
mind, and
Let
even
us
from
hear
the
the
participants
others.
also. I would now like to go to Professor Durlav Hazarika. Sir, we would like to know from your perspective, from the academic institutions side, what are the responsibilities that we have in order to fulfill such targets? And then we would also like to listen to your views on how these sustainable development goals can be achieved without harming the nature and without hampering the other goals in order to achieve a goal in the SDG 7, that is on the energy. So we would like to hear from you, sir. Over to Professor Rula Bhadrika, sir.
Okay, thank you, Bikram. To start with the topic, I would like to give you some sort of the perception we people basically the power system engineering had maybe 10 or 15 years ago. The term used for the renewable energy was not there. It was non-conventional energy. We have actually come through a long distance, and we took longer period of time to understand the need of renewable energy and its utilization for generation of power. Probably before 15 or 20 years, the power system people, they believe that there is no alternative than the thermal, super thermal power station, big hydro power station and all that. But all of a sudden, as a result of the advancement in technology, basically this is the uh, power electronics and embedded, it has changed the scenario or perception of the renewable energy. Therefore, nowadays, you see, previously probably the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy, now it is renamed as renewable energy. This is the perceptional sense we have experienced. I remember I attended a power system conference, National Power System Conference. One of the participants, he narrated a story, something like a elephant, he is about to cross a river over a bridge. Actually, there is a sort of rule. Elephant cannot walk through a bridge because there is a structural constraint involved in that. Then all of a sudden, he heard a sound from his top. A ant was sitting on his top. He was asking, should I get down so the weight will go down and then you can walk across this bridge? Now, he actually compared the renewable energy, means at that time conventional, non-conventional energy, basically
high consumption servers to low consumption servers, and followed by these are backed by different battery systems, SNPS systems. So, and then we have the access points where we have customer devices, mobile, laptops, IPTV. So these are also consumption devices where minimization of losses can be maintained, and if we and chip development companies can take a great place. In terms of the mobile earlier was definitely consuming a lot of energy. Now it has reduced to good number of battery systems. The lithium ion batteries are very long durated batteries. So they support long time charges. So this is because it has evolved through the ages, and there's a big area where even the electric cars or the electric buses can definitely make a change here. So now, in terms of the laptops and the IPTVs, the devices are also being evolved. The iPads have come in, then with low energy consumption. Then even the IPTV from LCD to LED TVs, these are also evolved through the ages with the less consumption of energy. So, in terms of if we say that there are rules where losses are made. There are basically the SCADA-based systems which manages the losses in terms of power grids. So there could be some softwares in terms of the SCADA-based system is totally based on ERP solutions, and then they are analytical the data that are required. So, in from a startup perspective, SCADA-based system is a great tool. Even there are a few startups that have evolved from Thailand that they are software-based application they have developed, and they are onboarding power grid systems across the globe. So those kind of minimization of cost, even the government would like to adopt new SCADA solutions. And similarly, in terms of SNPS battery charging sites, that makes less consumption. These are areas where a lot of research and development funds are available. In terms of uh, the microchip integrated, perhaps we can develop less consumption, less powered as devices less consume less energy. This may lead to chip design companies. Then in terms of waste management, if we say that from the biomass, there are companies that can evolve, that can support the solutions. Of course, in a small way, in terms of rural livelihood can be developed. Even from a telecom perspective, rural sites where solar panel or wind-based power systems can be worked upon. These are solutions that have been evolved, but further they have not been explored. So these are areas where these things can be explored. Even the telecom companies do not have the expertise to expedite in terms of those research and development. So educational institutions from startups can work on this area, can do their project in terms of wind-based power systems. So now, if we say from a telecom perspective, if we say the radio frequency initially, when it was the GSM technology, there was 800 to 900 megahertz. So these were frequencies that were generating a huge amount of power. So as a result, this has evolved through edge. Then 2G has evolved, 3G has evolved, and now 4G at 2300 megahertz, the energy consumption has reduced to a lot. From the solar homes, if a customer is there, so today we are accessing our conference through the mobile and the laptop, and these are basically handheld devices. So this charging can happen through solar based homes, so solar smart homes. Even then, how do we get connected to the network? Diesel generator and batteries, and they are also provided with air conditions. So smart air conditions have also evolved through the decade, and then this BTS get connected to the data centers. As a result, the data centers, in terms of the data centers, the green building concept have evolved. So if green building adoption is done in the data center, there there can be a smart grid solution that can be provided to the grid as well. So that those solutions can be evolved, and during this evolution, the fiber technology also has got evolved, because in terms of radio frequency network, it was it was consuming more power. So in terms of total internal reflection by the fiber communication or the optical communication, the networks, the devices are connected through the fiber communication. Now, if we say the 5G and the IoT devices, we have a lot of devices that are connected, and these devices are connected to the a home Wi-Fi server, and this home Wi-Fi server is connected to the internet cloud to the fiber. So as a result, the total energy consumption in reaching out for a customer to the internet is reducing. As a result, this is giving us a less consumption of energy. The batteries, the smart batteries are also long lasting, and as a result, the photovoltaic compositions have also evolved through different compositions. So, in terms of these are few of the things that we see that there are a lot of things that is gonna evolve, uh, and from a startup perspective, we definitely can see that there are a lot of development to be happening in terms of chip design companies, because it is the devices, all the devices would be connected to the network, and these devices are consumable devices. If we can reduce the consumption at the microchip level, then it would solve the purpose of clean and green energy. And that is what we have, what I have found out, that it is if we can develop microchips, small integrated circuits in India, rather than relying on any other countries, that would help a lot of startup evolving through the ages. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Gogoi. And the startups that we have been dealing with and we are seeing all around, they are working in the field of energy management and especially in SCADA technologies, as you want to convey through your talk. And the message that we receive is that the development of these startups can happen with sustainable, development of the raw materials if they are made available, and then if people can, startups can start making the chips themselves in house, indigenously, that can definitely help them grow. And in making the energy available to everyone, there has to be automation involved. So they are working in the different startups are working in developing such automation systems and making them affordable to the people, so that energy can be made available in different forms to them. So next, I would like to actually go to Professor KG Bhattacharya, sir, from uh, the point of view of use of different materials that are utilized for developing energies of renewable form. Like we have to use batteries if the solar PV systems are not the grid connected ones. Then these batteries are going to be, they are going to harm the nature. So climate and environmental actions are affected by use of batteries in solar PV systems. So similar to that, there can be many different types of hidden effects that may happen on the environment due to the development of even the renewable energy systems of different types also. So from that point of view, would you be able to tell us what actually is the advantage of using the renewable energy systems despite of having some environmental effects, and how one form of sustainable development goal, as we know, is goal number 7, is about developing access to energy, affordable energy, especially related to renewable and green energy. How is that affecting the other goals of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and whether it is helping or having a negative effect also on the other goals. So that is the point of our discussion. So, sir, would you be able to say something on that perspective? Sir, I would request you to unmute yourself, sir. Your microphone is mute. Your voice is not audible, sir. Your microphone is still mute, sir. We are still not able to make connection with Professor K.G. Bhattacharya. I would like to come back to Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar. Sir, would you like to tell us something about uh, uh, the budget that the government has in developing energy systems? That means development of renewable energy systems. Could a part of that have been utilized in fulfilling the SDGs 1 and 2? SDG 1 is about no poverty. SDG 2 is about zero hunger. In our country, we are still having these basic problems. So could there have been some part of that investment made in fulfilling the targets for goal number 1 and 2? They refer to no poverty and zero hunger. Or should the amount of investment that is made to achieve the target of 175 gigawatt by 2022 and finally 2030's goal, is it absolutely necessary to be invested for fulfilling SDG 7 for a country like ours?
Well, it is a very pertinent question that you have asked, because the fact remains that most of the our country is primarily an agricultural country, and most of the agricultural pump sets even today are diesel operated. So during the global international solar alliance, a decision has been taken by a responsibility of intensifying the Kusum scheme. Kusum scheme is the scheme by which all the agricultural pump sets will be converted from diesel pump sets to solar pump sets. So that is one of the things. The second thing is, as I had already mentioned in my address, that a huge amount of 3.0 lakh crores has been made for available for power distribution, and it will be over a period of 5 years, and it will not be given indiscriminately. Funds will be released based on the financial performance of the discoms and viability demonstration by the distribution companies. So these are the two things which come to me right now, which are directly going to affect the level of poverty in our country, because the lesser diesel that you use as for power generation, the better it is, especially when informed sources of renewable energy are available. There should not be any reason why we should use diesel for power generation, especially in the agricultural field. These are the two things which come to me off the mind. Of course, if you go and take a deep dive into the budget, there are many other things which are directly or indirectly associated in poverty alleviation through renewable energy. Major indirect thing is by putting up this, gear manufacturing, this electrical gear manufacturing systems that are required, like inverters and thyristors and other semiconductors, transformers. You are going to generate employment, because government has planned 3, 4 such huge parks where you are going to put up these electrical gear manufacturing units. So some way or the other,
development goals have been framed, and some targets have been fixed to fulfill those things. Similarly, if we look at the thing about environment, and this SDG 7 is about energy, and more particularly renewable energy and energy sources that will be less harmful to environment. But what we have seen is that although there have been new sources of energy, but still the amount of energy generated as renewable energy, still its use is minimum. And what we have heard is that only about 15% of the energy being used today comes from the renewable energy sources, which are not harmful and which are environment friendly. But the efforts are on to make use of other sources or maybe with the existing sources. But this has not happened. This is a problem. Then the other point is that whenever we talk of trade-offs, trade-off means some kind of compromise. That means we compromise with some of the things which may be harmful to environment. But then we need also energy. Without energy, we cannot talk of any development work. So we need lots of energy. But then whenever we talk of trade-offs, it means that some of the things we just ignore, or because energy is much more important than the other things, so we somehow ignore the environmental factor. So that is what is happening. So lots of trade-offs have been there. And also we must also acknowledge that that the Sustainable Development Goal 7 is not alone. It is related to all the other 17 goals and also the different targets. So in some of the cases, say for example, in several SDGs, SDG 7 is required. Without SDG 7, we cannot proceed on that SDG. So there will always be some problem. And therefore, it is true that we have to see lots of other things. And we have to adjust to such energy sources which will be less harmful to the environment. One of the things, of course, Dr. Goswami has mentioned is climate change. Now, climate change is intimately related to development of energy and its use. And I think most of the contribution to climate change, or rather the climate change gases which are responsible for this, comes from the energy sector. So how to control it is the million-dollar question. And
Hello, sir.
2030 is coming up.
Hello. I think we are intermittently getting the connection lost with Professor Bhattacharya.
Many new equipments have come, many new types of energy generation equipments have come, but then this is still not enough. So we are at a point when we find that we may still be in problem to meet this SDG 7 by 2030. Of course, we have to make some compromises, but if the compromises outweigh the environmental concerns, then that will not be good for us. So that is what we will have to look at. We will have to develop new sources of energy, more renewable sources which are less harmful to the environment. Of course, till the other day, when we talk of renewable energy, we knew of only hydrothermal energy. But then there are other energies being coming up, but still very limited in nature, particularly in this part of the country, or maybe as our country as a whole. So we have to give attention to these factors, that we have to generate these energy sources. We have to do more on renewable energy. We have to develop, as my previous speakers have pointed out, new equipments and new methods of energy generation and energy use, so that less damage comes to the environment. This is my concern, and I agree with you, whatever has been said, but those are technical matters. I am not saying that I completely understand them, but then those are technical matters, and I know for the engineers it is a very difficult task. Always we have to make some compromises, but then these compromises should not be huge enough to outweigh our environmental concerns. That is what is my feeling. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. These are all very pertinent points that you have mentioned. And one thing that we have understood from what you have discussed is that SDG 7 is actually helping all other SDGs, and it is having a positive impact. The development of the goals and achieving of targets under SDG 7, they are going to help the other SDGs in a positive manner, not in a negative manner, mostly, as you have pointed out. And that's a very, very important, information, and it's very, very important reflection of the understanding that we are trying to make about the synergies and trade-offs. Uh, I would like to next go to Professor Hazarika, sir, to ask him if he can tell us something about how the development of the technologies for affordable and clean energy going to affect the other some other SDGs like goal number uh, uh, 11, that is sustainable cities and communities, and goal number 12 is about responsible consumption and production. So these two goals, as we understand, are very intimately related to SDG goal number 7. The development of technologies related to energy are definitely going to have some impact on sustainable cities and communities, that is goal number 11, and responsible consumption and production, that is goal number 12. So we would like to hear from you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Probably in my earlier speech, I have mentioned something about the emerging technology. Probably we are having in our hand is the strong network connectivity and high-speed computation, then evolved and very advanced and strong embedded and power electronics devices. Now, to understand how it will help us to regulate things, maybe from controller side, maybe at the community side, or maybe at the lower level side also. For example, if you think of the energy meter law, maybe 10 years before it was an electromagnetic type, that is induction type. Now we have digital, and digitals are also now smart energy meter. Now the smart energy meter, it has to have all the features, like it has to have the warning message arrangement, it has to have self regulatory arrangements, something like beyond the capacity. If power is drawn for maybe half an hour, it has to be switched off. Therefore, these are the regulatory action that can be implemented in the energy meter, because it is a now smart energy meter. Plus, it has to have a connectivity to the cloud, where the data will be available maybe after a couple of years, and that cloud data will be accessed by all the servers and all that. Now, what we understand here, suppose somebody he has applied for a load of 10 kilowatt. Now he is consuming more than 10 kilowatt for more than 1 hour. His connection will be disconnected forcefully. Maybe he will be warned for a period of time and this will be disconnected. Number one. Then the power factor and whatever is the criteria, it will be monitored from the control center. Therefore, he will be also warned, and there may be a penalization arrangement in the costing and all that, pricing and all that. That's how something like people will be forced to abide by the rules and regulation that is being formulated basically for reduction of system loss. Means moment you are in a position to reduce system loss, basically you are generating power. It's something like reducing loss is considered as generation of power. That is one aspect. Then already I have said that each and every equipment and appliance that we are going to have maybe after 10, 15 years, every item will have an ID, because each and every item will be connected by a Wi-Fi network. Therefore, it will be in the cloud, it will be in the net. Therefore, it can be controlled from anywhere, everywhere. Therefore, if you see the modern smart home concept, you can control your the device and appliances from anywhere sitting, if you have a Wi-Fi connection at your home. For example, if you have a camera operated through Wi-Fi, if you have the website through which you can access it and you can see from there. Therefore, security system of your neighborhood as well as your home is enhanced. But see, it is not at the cost of the power, because that power consumption has to be reduced. That's what I'm telling, that at all level there will be a monitoring process. That monitoring process will be governed by a sort of network arrangement. Basically, it is beyond IoT. IoT, if we say IoT, we think in terms of only having a website and a Wi-Fi. Then something like a student project is not like that. It is beyond that. It will be voice control. It will be face control. There are a lot many aspects coming related to security. Security is a major issue. Now there is another thing, but we need to ensure that network security is there. Before we move into that sort of arrangement in the power system, one has to be very, very careful, because that power system, we have now that remote control arrangement. You can do a remote switching of a substation power switch, your circuit breaker and all that. But if there is a hacking, if it is hacked, it will be disaster. Therefore, there must be some sort of strong network security protocol, or it is suggested that the power system has to have its own network, not that web network. It has to have its own network with own protocol, which is 100% free from a hacker possibility. Otherwise, until and unless it is taking place, probably smart grid may not be operated through the network arrangement. Probably people are working on that. It will have its own software for smart grid. And it is planned, in fact, the smart grid will learn in time in terms of its disturbance and difficulties. It is experienced and over the time, maybe fault and all that. It will learn from that, and then it will try to rectify itself without any intervention of operator and all that. Because intervention of operator is mostly based on his your previous experience and sort of intuition, that he makes out some sort of strategy based on the past experience. Sometimes it goes wrong, because now we have a network. It is not up to the database. We have to have up to house level. There may be several billions of nodes at a high level, grid nodes. Then at a medium level, maybe 33 kb nodes. Then 220. Then house level, there are a lot many nodes. And each and every your items, important items, that will have ID. For example, a battery associated with a car. If it is charged for a frequent period of time, the machine learning process involved in identification and quantification of that quality of the battery will know that, okay, this battery is not good. Therefore, he will be warned. Maybe next time he may not be allowed to connect to the grid for power source. Now, as an academician, I have experienced one thing. Things are happening in a different way at different level. For example, in US, the big truck, the drivers, they are using batteries nowadays. And they found out their own way of charging battery. Actually, what happened, I have come through a process. Somebody asked me to design a high power battery charger for power station, such station. Then I had a simple idea that we can use that bridge circuit. In the bridge circuit, in the AC side, it is AC. Only the bridge portion, it is DC. Therefore, if we put a capacitor there, then we can regulate the voltage at the rectifier in, and putting the number of capacitor, you can enhance the current. For example, if we put a capacitor, 60 MFD capacitor, 600 volt, then the charging capacity is 36 ampere at go, one go, constant. Therefore, it's a high power. But the problem is that current is very high. But interestingly, since it is connected via the capacitor, therefore it will generate reactive power. The reactive power it generates, if it is connected to the distance node at a distribution point where voltage is going down, that will help in increasing voltage or making the voltage profile good or better, maybe best. Therefore, this is sort of your device that it can be used at the far end, remote end where voltage is not good, and you can have a charging station where you can charge the battery. Along with that, you can improve the voltage profile. Therefore, but idea was, actually I did it. We experimented it. Then one of my brother friend working in the project, it belongs to his idea. He wants to have a station, but he had no technical idea. Therefore, he came to me, and after searching in the net, we found that the same idea is used in US. And driver, probably he doesn't have much idea about electricity and all that. He devised this system. He has developed this system. He was using it for charging a constant current of more than 60 ampere. It is a very fast charging system. We have experimented within 10-15 minutes. I mean, the old battery probably not charged for a couple of months. Once it is put for charging, you will hear noise, cracking noise, and the deposition on the plate, they cracked, and it's more or less clean, and it charged immediately. Means these are the idea people are also trying at different places because of the changing scenario of power, nature of power. But one thing we have to understand, that DC is going to come, and we have to understand how to operate, because DC, the major problem is arcing. Once there is a arc, that arc cannot be extinguished. Therefore, switching is the problem. But we have the power switch. That's why DC switch is a little bit costlier. DC MC. See, it is all are in market. It is not that it is not there in the market, but it is there. But that know-how is essential for ultimate user also. Ultimate user is need to know. That's how actually what happened. The fight between DC and AC right from the Tesla and Edison period is still on. Probably it will go a long way. This fight will go a long way, and there will be always ups and downs. Sometimes somebody feels that AC is good, somebody will feel DC is good. But at this point of time, probably the hybrid of AC and DC based on the voltage level will be the best solution for the power management. And therefore our understanding, learning and everything has to be in the direction of investigating things involving both AC and DC, and how power can be reduced based on the AC-DC operation, not only AC. Because we are traditional people. When this application was put to REC, there was no objection from no stakeholder. APDCL is the one, your stakeholder in Assam. They come to participate in that hearing. They said we do not have any knowledge, therefore we cannot say whether it is good or bad. But finally the decision was taken that since this is a new technology, probably it was applied in South Korea. That is the example it was put forward in that application. The conclusion was something like that. The application money was kept in abeyance, means this is valid forever, and some sort of investigation or a pilot project has to be done. And having with the pilot project result, again the application can be resubmitted for the license for distribution system at Guwahati. Therefore, technology is like that. It will sense, it will take time sometimes, but it is economic. It is driven by the economy. It will come immediately if people feel that okay, there is benefit out of this technology. Then industry is going to come forward. Probably it will change very quickly, and there is a possibility it will change very quickly. Therefore, as an academician, I feel we have to keep learning about the changing technology in electrical operation, means network operation, device operation, and the strategic operation of the electrical power system. Okay, all right.
Thank you, sir. So this will definitely be a very, very important message, especially for the people who are into academics and also the scholars and the students. That they have to keep themselves updated with the changes in the technology, especially the field of energy is going to see a real change in near future. So we all have to be prepared to accept those changes, embrace those technological advancements, and keep ourselves updated to be able to work towards the development of it. So I would like to request the participants to ask a couple of questions to the panelists, and I would request any of the panelists who would like to answer those questions pertinent to the topic can please answer the questions which will be asked by the participants. So may I ask the participants, those who are online can also do, and those who are attending it offline from here can also do the same. So may I ask the participants to ask some questions to the panelists on the topic of our discussion today, that is the synergies and trade-offs between sustainable development goals and targets, with special reference to SDG 7, that is affordable and clean energy for all. Over to the participants, please.
Okay, I would like to thank all the resource person in this panel discussion. So here we have got to know many new things today regarding all the renewable energy sources and the implications of renewable energy and the potential of renewable energy in India as well as across the globe. So we have learned many things, and this we really very resourceful discussion. So I would like to thank all the resource person as well as the moderator, Bikramjit sir. So thank you, sir. This is from my side. More questions? Okay, one more question is there.
Just a minute. Pankaj.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm fine, sir. How?
Okay, all right. Actually, that application we put to ARC for DC distribution system at Guwahati.
Okay, sir.
It is not by me. Actually, there is another person. He was interested, and he prepared that project report. And without a delay, he actually filed that application to ARC. The
Okay, sir.
application fee is 1 lakh. All right, he
Okay.
paid it. And finally, in the final hearing, the decision was that that money, that application money, it is valid for I do not know how many years, but it is infinite. Means we are entitled to submit a revised one once
sir.
we have some sort of data or a pilot project result at our disposal. And it was decided there itself with the electricity board people that they will enable us to have sort of facilities at maybe one distribution line, a radial line, where this pilot project can be carried out. All right.
Okay.
It will be DC to again AC, means it will be converted from 33 kV, sorry, 440 kV line to a DC. And then that DC again, it will go to house, and there we will put a converter. Now there is a problem because we have to put a converter because all of them are AC. Therefore, we estimated cost of converter and all that 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, something like that. Anyway, whatever the issue. But finally, we didn't get any response from board or APDCL for the allotment, means whatever they have committed that they were supposed to allot your distribution line to us. Therefore, we cannot do it. Now, thing is that if you are interested, you can talk to us, and
Sure, sir.
I'm not actually, I'm only the advisor. I'm only the advisor and technical person, basically has that idea. Therefore, I have tried to propagate that one, and he conceived it immediately. He tried it. Anyway, I can introduce you to that person, and then you can pursue that sort of project. And I think this will come. Therefore, if we can have our know-how very quickly, that is better for us.
Sure, sir.
My argument was, I put forward in why we have to be last everywhere, why we have to wait for the distribution to take over everywhere and we start at India. Why we not? That's what we try to argue, and we try to convince actually REC that because they do not have objection, therefore you can assign us a particular locality that, okay, you try at that locality. If people are not coming forward, because it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. People has to come forward that, okay, we are opting, because this is the arrangement nowadays. Now, according to your regulation, your new regulation, open access regulation, each and every your state has to have minimum of 2 distribution company, because to have a competition in the distribution sector. It is not that APDCL can run. See, otherwise there may be some 40% penalization or something. Some regulations are there. As a technical person, I know that. Therefore, actually, ARC was also interested to introduce maybe as a namesake, another one to show that, okay, we have a 2 participant or 2 company in the distribution sector in Assam. And secondly, there is another important regulation we have. At distribution level, we have to have 40% of renewable energy. That is also
Right,
another
sir.
regulation. Probably Assam is not satisfying that. All right.
Okay, sir.
That's what you can try to investigate. And as you are doing, you have an industry. Therefore, you can explore those things.
Yes, sir.
Explore those things. Okay. All right.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
So we have one more question by one of the participants. So I'd request the participant to ask that question.
Good afternoon, respected dignitaries. Today morning, we have heard from Bharat sir that 5G has already reached home. And now in the discussion, we have seen that IoT is coming in a much bigger way. So I wanted to know if we combine this IoT through the 5G communication, then there will be definitely a very rapid communication between the supply and demand side. So what can be the change in energy utilization in near future, especially with regards to home appliances?
I would like to answer this question because I'm into the 5G over space. So basically, if the network is connected over 5G, then basically the connectivity, it becomes a smart fiber network. Suppose in a city like Guwahati, or there are around 20 top buildings where Wi-Fi routers or smart routers are placed there, and this smart routers are connected uh, through the Wi-Fi, through the fiber network. So as a result, the earlier the BTS towers would be replaced by these Wi-Fi routers. As a result, the energy consumption would reduce, because um, this Wi-Fi routers would be charging very less consumption of energy. As a result, the overall consumption of the area would be reduced to minimum. And this is why energy consumption would happen, because the IoT sensor devices would also consume less power, rather than the having a mobile phone and then getting connected. Means there would be more going forward. I think, did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Um, one last question, if any participants have any question, one last question we can take, because we are also running out of time, and we have the valedictory session after this, and that's why we would like to take up one last question, if there is any. Any of the online participants, would they like to ask something to our panelists? So if there is no more question, then I would like to thank all the panelists for being here. And it was a great uh, discussion that we had, and all participants could actually relate to what is actually happening in the world around us in terms of the use of energy in different fronts. So, and the synergies and trade-offs also we have understood, especially in reference to SDG 7, that is to provide affordable and clean energy to all by 2030. We have understood that SDG 7 has positive influence on all other SDGs, and without the clean and affordable energy for all, we cannot have the overall development of the civilization. And that is something which we can actually have as a takeaway from this particular panel discussion. I would especially like to thank the panelists, Dr. Indrajit Mazumdar sir, Professor Durlav Hazarika sir, Professor K.G. Bhattacharya sir, and Mr. Pankaj Gogoi, and the fifth panelist for today, Mr. Shauquat Alam, couldn't join because of some network issues that he had. But I'm sure this discussion is going to reach up to many more people through our YouTube broadcasting of this panel discussion. And one aspect that we can take home, go from this particular panel discussion of the conference today, is that we have to be prepared to have a lot of advancements in our energy usage, as be it as normal consumers, or be it as the people who are involved in some way of developing energy technologies, or consuming energy with a lot of responsibility. We must be prepared to face the changes that are going to happen, and also some challenges, as we have understood. There would be a lot of challenges in having changes happening at our homes, when in terms of using the energy, and in terms of utilizing the clean and affordable energy for the future. So I thank everyone on behalf of the conference organizing committee for this panel discussion, especially the panelists and the the participants who had participated both online as well as offline in this particular hall. And with this, I would like to conclude this panel discussion session. If any of the panelists would like to say one or two sentences as the concluding remark, they can please make that remark, and then we will conclude the session. Exactly.
I would like to state you some sort of very, very strong message given by one of the environmental scientists. He stays in Australia. He's of Indian origin, Mr. Sam Sakropani. His perception of destruction of nature is totally different. Normally, it is projected as the destruction created by the human is paining or disturbing our Mother Earth. His way of looking into the problem on a prospect is different. He is saying that you have to think differently, 180-degree with respect to this thinking. In the nature has its own mechanism and its own method and strategy to manage the destruction caused by the nature. It can manage everything and anything in one go. That we take several years to create such destruction to the nature. Therefore, finally, the disaster will be on us, not on earth. We should not feel pity for the nature. We have to feel pity for us rather than feeling pity for the earth. Start feeling pity for ourselves. This is an important message for the people who are rather involving in the issue related to environmental problems.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. This is a very, very strong and important message. Thank you. Okay, so if there is no more other reflection on this, then we conclude this panel discussion session. Although we wanted to have more discussion with our eminent panelists, but due to paucity of time, we will have to conclude the session at this point. We hope to be associated with our panelists again in our future endeavors. Thank you. And we conclude the panel discussion session here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bikramjit Goswami and the panelists. Now we will shortly start the valedictory session. To start the valedictory session, may I invite the convener of the conference ICERME 2020, Professor Sakuntala Laskar, and Director of School of Technology, Assam Don Bosco University, Dr. Manoranjan Kalita, and the Organizing Secretary of the conference, Mr. Sunil Deka, to come forward and please take the podium. you. So feedback is a very important parameter for making any event successful, and it helps us to prepare for our future events as well. So may I now request the participants to kindly share the experience about the conference. It will give us the confidence, as well as we will know about the loopholes which will help us to make us better next time. So may I request any of the participants to kindly share their feedback about the 2 day of conference.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here at the International Conference on Emerging Renewable and Modern Energy. I thank the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering of Assam Don Bosco University for organizing this remarkable conference. It was my first time speaking for this conference. This conference played a pioneering role on eradicating energy crisis and generating a green renewable energy for the growing world. I believe the goal of this conference, which is access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services, was greatly achieved. The emerging global criteria of greenhouse emission demands a rapid solution. The adverse effect of climate change has forced us to seek emission-free green energy. Sustainable Development Goal 7, set by the UN General Assembly, aims to correct the enormous imbalance by ensuring everyone has access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy service by the year 2030. This conference aims at creating a platform for researchers to discuss efficient, coherent, and coordinated ways of developing new and renewable energy resources of the region and providing their access to all. It was a great experience for me working with you all. I hope that Assam Don Bosco University will arrange this type of conference more in the near future to accelerate the growth of reliable green energy for the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rama, for the wonderful feedback. Can we have any more feedback? So we're looking forward for more feedbacks. Any more feedback?
Hello, sir. Mayur here, sir.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Sir. Yeah, I'm very happy that in our this challenging time, you have arranged a conference like this in this online mode. So I thank you all, and I'm very happy that my college, my graduate college, has taken these initiatives where all other organizations are big organizations are lagging. They are postponing their dates of conferences. So I think it's a good success. Successful completions of this conference in online mode, which is good. And hospitality was also good, and everything was good. Apart from the issue that we should try little bit more frequently. And we should practice more frequently to organize such kind of conference and workshops. And one more thing we can do, we can enhance the quality of the publications. We should work towards that. We should enhance the quality of our journal. We should enhance the indexing of our journals, our university journal, where the paper will be going to publish. We should go for Scopus. So that is what I feel, sir. And about the conference, the technical sessions were really encouraging and engaging. A lot of information has been given by the experts. We have got a lot of new things from Professor Hazarika, sir, Mahapatra, sir, and Nayak, sir also. So it was very good experience, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayur. I must tell you that we feel very proud seeing you there. Any
Thank you,
more?
sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mayur. Any more feedback?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Myself, Dr. Sandeep Borle, and I am actually I felt proud today to give the talk, deliver a talk at the at this wonderful conference that has been organized by the AAA department. Because, so though this is the department from which I completed my PhD, so it has been a very happy moment for me to again being in talk at the conference that is being organized. With regards, this conference has actually uh, allowed me to explore into the world of energy, though my field is different. So it has given many prospects of in the field of energy, and I found from some of the talks which I had attended, some of the things which I can relate to my field. So, as for my experience, I have gained some knowledge as well as some new and have learned new things which I think I can apply for any future research work that I'll be doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bordula, for sharing your experience. Any more feedbacks? Are most welcome. So I think we have no more feedbacks. Thank you so much for your encouragement. So just like in a cricket team, we have a coach and we have a manager. So the coach for our team is Professor Shakuntala Laskar, and the manager is Dr. Manoranjan Kalita. So now I would request our beloved director, School of Technology, Assam Don Bosco University, Dr. Manoranjan Kalita, to kindly come forward and give his encouraging words. Sir, please.
Mr. Hiranmoy Dev, the manager is here. So it's now time that manager expresses his satisfaction, deep sense of appreciation for the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering for this first version of International Conference on Emerging Renewable and Modern Energy. The same is also echoed in the versions of the persons who have given the feedbacks, the participants. They all are satisfied. Everybody, particularly seeing to the situation, the tail end of the COVID pandemic is still on. It's not over. But we did not postpone it. We have organized successfully. The statistics also show, I have collected the statistics. The total number of papers received were 28 and 18 papers were selected and all 18 are presented. There is a great thing. Then presenters are from 4 countries: Thailand, Bangladesh, Algeria and India. From India, presenters are from 6 states. Over and above Assam, Meghalaya, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Odisha and Tamil Nadu. And there are resource persons from Bhutan who delivered an invited talk. Others are from different technical institutes of India, right from Assam Engineering College, NIT Silchar, Sikkim Manipal Institute of Technology, Tezpur University, also IIT Guwahati and IIT Bombay. So this shows the spectrum participation is satisfactory, although not overwhelming. Of course, considering the situation as I mentioned, the tail end of COVID pandemic is still on. So we can definitely have a smile in our face of satisfactory conclusion of our first version of ICERME. I have two things from the panel discussion. Two things I noted down. One is every state of India will have to have two competing companies in power distribution. That is really a very good, nice thing. So that democracy will go, that raising the per unit cost or billing, that will probably come down in that if there is some healthy competition. That is something new I have come to know from Professor Durlav Hazarika. Another thing, 40% of total energy will have to be from renewable energy. There, we are not meeting, probably some of the states of India are meeting that requirement. In that direction, probably we also have to have some scheme, at least whatever way we can add, we can contribute in terms of some research. Research in what direction, considering our northeastern or Assam, probably in solar energy side dimension, some more activities we can carry out to increase efficiency. Some works are already started, I am aware, but it should be more. So that because insolation is less, particularly winter season. So how to harness more? The problems are to be overcome to get more benefit. Also, the another thing which has multiple impacts, waste to energy. I probably mentioned on the first day also. It has two things. Energy will be produced and the pollutants will be minimized. So both the environment, it will be environment friendly activity. In that direction is in our institution, our department of Tripoli, we can spearhead some research. That will be a great thing on our part. That is my wish that I have expressed here. With these two thoughts, I just want to once again appreciate all and congratulate and saying my gratitude to all the participants for being with us during these two rigorous days and participating actively. And we hope that all will participate in future too. Some of the participants who have given feedback, they have said that we should have this kind of events very often. In online mode, it is very easy. If participants are there in sufficient number to organize, because we have all our systems, online systems are there. Only thing that participation should be huge. We hope that and again next year we shall be having another second version. Let us pray to God that all will remain healthy and pandemic will go and new strain of pandemic will not come. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We all always try to follow your positivity and enthusiasm. Now may I request the Assistant Organizing Secretary of ICERME 2021, Dr. Papul Sangwai, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks and officially declare this conference closed. Sir, please.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. respected our director, sir, respected our HOD ma'am, and my faculty colleague, Dr. Sunil Deka. So now I'm going to give a brief overview about the uh, international conference ICERME 2021. So our conference was yesterday. It was started yesterday. Okay, in the inauguration session, Father Joseph Nelanath, he started the inauguration ceremony with a ceremonial prayer. After that, Dr. Sunil Deka, the organizing secretary, formally announced the opening of the international conference ICERME 2021. He welcomed all on the International Conference on Emerging Renewable and Modern Energy ICERME 2021, organized by Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Assam Don Bosco University, in collaboration with Sikkim Manipal Institute of Technology, Sikkim Manipal University, India. He stated that all conference activity which leads to the dispensing of knowledge via research presentations and paper submissions, etc., has come to a halt due to the extended lockdown by countries all across the world, including India. Our convener, Professor Shakuntala Laskar, mentioned that ADBU, appointed by the International Association of Universities as a global cluster lead for SDG 7, intends to lead the way in substantially increasing the share of renewable energy and looks forward to academic and research collaboration to facilitate access to clean energy technology and enhance energy efficiency. She stated that the main objective of the conference is to discuss the prospect of renewable and sustainable energy for all and is expected to create a platform to discuss efficient, coherent, and coordinated ways of developing new and renewable energy sources of the region and providing their access to all. In the inaugural ceremony, Professor Manoranjan Kalita, Director, School of Technology, Assam Don Bosco University, also mentioned the relevance of renewable energy and is the need of the hour as the climate change is evident. However, he stated that the environmental consequences of hydropower are related to interventions in nature due to damming of water, changed water flow, and the construction of roads and power lines. He preferred micro hydro power plant over mega dam construction to harness energy. During the inaugural session, Reverend Father Stephen Maveli, Vice Chancellor, Assam Don Bosco University, pointed out that the COVID-19 pandemic has led to a dramatic loss of human life worldwide and presents an unprecedented challenge to public health, food systems, and the world of work. Since science and technology sector constituting of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence are contributing towards curbing COVID-19. He discussed the various aspects of modern technology used to light against COVID-19 crisis at different scales. During the introductory session, Dr. Ajay Jha, Associate Director, R&D, SMIT, India, mentioned that energy is the basic resource that our society needs to function. He discussed the sources of renewable energy, which include solar, wind, hydropower, biomass, geothermal, hydrogen, and ocean energy. He stated that as a consumer, you have several opportunities to make an impact on improving the environment through the choice of a greener energy solution. And by addressing the keynote address, Dr. Shishir Kumar Nayak from IIT Guwahati, he addressed a few critical issues related to solar photovoltaic systems. Mathematically, he has shown the maximum power estimation work of solar photovoltaic system during shaded and unshaded conditions. He has developed a suitable algorithm to estimate the global maximum power point of PV system. Moreover, he has given a number of fruitful thoughts to the researchers in the field of solar PV system. this was in the inauguration session. After that, there were 4 numbers of sessions in which presenters have presented their paper. So in the first session of the presentation, there was a invited speaker. He was from NIT Silchar, Dr. Nalin Bihari Dev Chaudhary. So Professor Nalin Bihari Dev Chaudhary was the invited speaker of the first session. He has presented the presentation on smart grid system. He gave a brief overview on the major components of the smart grid system, importance of smart grid system in the current state of art, along with the different applications. A smart grid is an electrical grid which includes a variety of operation and energy measure, including advanced metering infrastructure, smart distribution system, and renewable energy resources. He has addressed a number of key points that has to be taken care in the application of smart grid system. In the second session, the invited speaker was from Tezpur University, Dr. Sadhan Mahapatra. He is the associate professor in the energy department. So his presentation was on the single particle combustion study of biomass and biomass coal fuel mixture. He discussed the carbon emission effect in the scale ranging from various countries to various sectors of industries. Biomass is fuel that is developed from organic materials, a renewable and sustainable source of energy used to create electricity or other forms of power. He explains the basics of the impact of co-gasification process to release energy. The particle size or surface area volume together with particle density are the primary controlling parameter for better conversion of fuel mixtures in any combustion system. In the third session, there was a professor, his name is Professor T. Swang Lendup. He is from the College of Science and Technology, Royal University of Bhutan. So he gave a invited talk as well as he shared that particular session. So in that particular invited talk, he gave a brief overview on the renewable energy sources available in Bhutan in the third session. He has given very specific data related to wind energy, hydel energy, solar energy, and biomass energy. Bhutan is very rich in renewable energy sources. He also mentioned that Bhutan is a carbon negative country. Solar energy in Bhutan is being used as a precursor to grid electrification. So in that particular session, there was another invited talk which was given by the professor, emeritus professor, Dr. Zuzair Basi from IIT Bombay. Dr. Zuzair Basi mentioned that 300 gigawatt national solar mission holds great opportunities as well as challenges in India during that particular session. Solar photovoltaic provides a path forward for quick development of clean energy. Cost reduction in storage holds premise for wider development of solar in India and worldwide. He also stated that rapid cost reduction has made PV affordable and is now at grid parity levels. In the fourth session, there was an invited speaker. He is Dr. Ravinder Bera from SMIT, Sikkim. Dr. Bera addressed the issues related to smart grid system in the current state of art. He gave a brief overview about all components of smart grid system. He also demonstrated a suitable model to implement the smart grid system in solar photovoltaic energy system. So this was a brief overview related to all the sessions, technical sessions which took place here. And in every session there were 5 to 6 numbers of papers, and in all the papers already our director sir mentioned that we have participants from across the globe. So, and there were very nice presentations. So I am not going to tell the topics of the papers. So it will consume a lot of time. So finally, after completion of all the sessions, panel discussion took place. panel discussion was our 5th session. In the panel discussion, I'm going to give a gist of the topic. The Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations on 25 September 2015 are currently driving most development policies globally, with 17 goals, 169 targets, and 232 indicators to monitor and track progress. Countries may lose sight of the synergies and trade-offs between goals and between targets, a fact that has been acknowledged from the beginning. To address this concern, approaches are being developed to identify and quantify these synergies and trade-offs. Most of these approaches address the national scale, as it is at this level that the SDGs are to be reported. But synergies and trade-offs are also relevant at the global and subnational scales, where arguably less research is underway. So here, this was a gist about our panel discussion. In that panel discussion, 5 numbers of panelists take part. That is Dr. Durlav Hazarika sir from Assam Engineering College. Mr. Shauquat Alam was there, but he could, due to the technical problem, he could not able to connect. After that, Dr. Pankaj Gogoi was there. He is the founder and CEO of RedLemon Technologies Private Limited. And after that, KZ Bhattacharyya sir was there. He is from Assam Don Bosco University, the APDCL campus. And Indrajit Mazumdar sir was also there. So this was a brief highlight regarding the panel discussion, and that particular panel discussion was moderated by our respected Bikramjit Goswami sir. So it was really a nice presentation. So now I want to give a brief highlight about the whole journey of the ICERME 2021. So before 2 years, that is in January 2019, we have first thought of this conference. Initially, the conference was supposed to organize as a national conference. Later on, we have decided to organize this conference as an international conference, which was supposed to organize in 2020. But due to the worldwide corona pandemic, we could not organize the conference in 2020, hoping that the situation would be normal and the conference will be organized in physical presence of all the participants. But keeping in view the long-term corona pandemic, finally we have decided to organize the conference in virtual mode. As a result of that, our dream of ICERME 2021 came into reality. Although we have some experiences in organizing national conferences, we never had an experience of organizing conference in virtual mode. Therefore, a lot of things we have learned from this experience. Before organizing the conference, we thought that the virtual conference will be a bit easy compared to the physical one. But now I will say that things are just opposite to that. It is really a tough job to synchronize the whole event virtually. In line with this, I would like to thank all the participants for showing interest to present papers in our conference. I would like to thank all the resource persons who have managed time for the conference. I would like to thank Professor Father Joseph Nalanath, our Director Manoranjan Kalita sir, for their valuable advice and suggestions. I would like to thank our HOD, Professor Shakuntala Laskar ma'am, for her visionary guidance and advice. I would like to thank Dr. Bikramjit Goswami sir for arranging delicious food for all of us. I would like to thank Jyoti sir for taking extra burden of end semester exam on behalf of Pushpanjali ma'am. I would like to thank Smriti ma'am for preparing certificates for the participants. I would like to thank Pushpanjali ma'am for hosting the inaugural ceremony of the conference. I would like to thank Gitu sir for preparing this beautiful venue for us. I would like to thank specially to my JEC friend and my faculty colleague. You already know, he's nothing but the Joseph Ahmed, without whom the live streaming of the sessions would not have been possible. I would like to thank Numal sir, Nitumani, and Susil for helping us in venue preparation work. I would like to thank Sudip sir, Dhruva sir, and Mriganko sir for supporting us in system assistance and Google Meet related activities. I would like to thank Dr. Anupam Sandra for taking nice pics of the various moments of the conference. I would like to thank Vikas Agarwal sir for providing necessary goods in time. I would like to thank all our students, faculty colleagues, and the supporting staff of Azara campus who has helped us in making this event a grand success. Finally, I would like to thank two of the most important persons of our conference. They are nothing but the organizing secretary, Dr. Sunil Reka and Dr. Hiranmoy Dev. More than a colleague, they are my friend. The most important thing is that both are really very much jolly-mooded person, which gives mental strength and ability to solve critical issues. It was really a fun working with them. The wholehearted effort of all these people have made this event a grand success. So here, I would like to thank Joseph sir for coming here to our valedictory session as well as the inauguration session. And whoever came here, maybe I may miss my some names. So if I have forgotten someone's name unknowingly, I have helped who have helped us in this endeavor. Please accept my sincere apology. So with this, I want to declare concluding of this ICERME 2021. So I declare the conference ICERME 2021 closed. Thank you.